Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Weather update here is it is muggy. It's really muggy. It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow. So hopefully that'll give us a little slight break from that. The temperature isn't terrible, but not a whole lot of breeze and a good dose of humidity. So that's where we're at today. Just you feel like you're sitting in a sauna. This video may make some of you mad. In fact, it's possible I might lose a listener or two, but that's normal. I'm used to that, right? I'm used to that happening. So, truth hurts sometimes, right? I want to make it clear that a lot of the inspiration and idea from this video came from another content creator, a friend of mine. His name's Risky Crisky, and he's unfortunately not on YouTube anymore because YouTube is, so authoritarian that they booted him off. He is over on X and I believe on Rumble. So go watch him or follow him over there. But anyways, this is where the inspiration came from. And we're talking about the debate last night. We're talking about the election this morning. And I know that I try to steer away from politics as much as possible. But when politics overlaps into the things that are happening that we have to prepare for, then we have to talk about it, right? I mean, we have to make it a point to mention it. And so that's where we're at. A lot of things things haven't happened, but a lot of things are kind of working themselves out right now. And I do believe that after yesterday, there was a shift. And I don't know where that's going to end us up at, but I suspect it's not going to be good. The Time magazine has their new cover coming out. And it says panic, and it's got Joe Biden like walking off the stage looking thing. CNN basically went through the whole debate and to sum it up, said that pretty much everything Joe Biden said wasn't true, or at least a lot of what Joe Biden, they fact checked him. And they said a lot wasn't true. And that's been what since then Joe Biden's and the White House is trying to say, well, Joe Biden's not the strapping young man that he used to be, but at least he doesn't lie like Donald Trump does all the time when their own people, CNN, is fact-checking him and saying that that's not true. So there's definitely a shift going on. And I think it's important because, and I get this a lot from people, and they're saying, well, what's it matter about American politics? What does it matter who's in the White House? Because if you're focused on this globalist thing, this new world order, great reset, all that kind of stuff, then do you think America really matters in the grand scheme of things? It does. America most certainly does, because right now, or even 5 years ago, if you wanted to rule the world and do this Agenda 2030 Great Reset, New World Order garbage, and there wasn't America, it wouldn't be that hard to implement it. In fact, the vast majority of the world have already implemented a lot of stuff. Most of the world is far ahead of us when it comes to central bank digital currencies. They're ahead of us when it comes to surveillance. They're ahead of us when it comes to free speech restrictions, when it comes to firearms restrictions, when it comes to mandates and regulations on green energy garbage stuff. Most of the world is way ahead of us, especially the developed world. And the reason why that there still has, at least there always has been, some type of semblance of hope, of freedom, of liberty, of individuality in this world is because America. That's it. And they know that if they can bring America down, then every other country will fall into place. They will have no problem. And so that's why they have to do it. That's why America is so important. And I do think that this election is important. I mean, does it matter who gets elected? Maybe not, but I think it's important in the sense that it's the message that's conveyed to the people, right? It's how they sell it, and that will greatly determine what happens next in the direction. And not so much that their plans will change either way, but that the population will start to see things different. So there's a lot of things I'm sure going on out there in our kind of neck of the woods. And when I say our, I mean the conservative, Republican, patriot, maybe pro-Trump, that kind of area, that corner, right? And probably a lot of you are saying, yeah, this is good. This is Trump is a shoo-in. And I must remind you that if they had the capability of throwing an election last time, why would they not have it this time? But they might do it a different way. So going back to the debate last night, a lot of the mainstream media, a lot of prominent Democrats are expressing that they're very worried. They're openly expressing this, and that's the key. They're openly on CNN, MSNBC, all of the daytime TV, all of them, that they're very concerned. They're very worried about this, that Biden is showing exactly what everyone's been saying that he is, that he's incapable of being the president. In fact, they've even talked about the 25th Amendment being invoked. But the White House said today that Biden has no intentions of dropping out of the race, that he will be on the ballot, and that he's going to be the next president. He has every intention of running again and continuing on with his second term. So if that's the case, and all of this stuff is being talked about with Biden, it's possible that in the next coming days we could see some kind of attack. We could see something shifting in the war. I mean, stuff that's happening right now with Lebanon and Israel is heating up very rapidly. Multiple countries today are telling their people, including the United States, that their people need to leave, to get out of Lebanon. Stop going there. Don't go to Lebanon. The ones that are there, get out. There's already some countries are already putting plans in place to evacuate their people out of Lebanon. Things are heating up there really fast, and Lebanon's been attacking northern Israel, and it's back and forth. You could see something change there. You could see something change with Ukraine and Russia. You could see something big happen to distract from this that's going on with Biden, if the intent is to keep Biden in power. If the intent is to keep Biden in power, and I'm telling you this, and this is where some of you are going to get upset. My opinion, and that's all this is my opinion. My opinion is come November, if Biden is still on the ballot and he's still the guy that's being voted on, him and Trump, then that seals the deal for me that Trump is probably part of the system. He's probably part of this evil plan. He may not know it. I mean, he may be an innocent victim in all this, but he's still part of the plan. The elites, the ones that rule everything, they put the people in power. And if they truly were worried about Trump getting elected into office, they would do all kinds of things to ensure that Biden was not on that ballot and that someone else is. And so if that doesn't happen and Biden is still on the ballot come November, for me, I think it seals the deal that Trump was probably part of the system. He's in on it. He's in on it, right? We could also still see someone else. You know, Gavin Newsom, I think, is probably the top pick, at least in my opinion. But there's Hillary, there's, Mike Obama, maybe a couple others. Any one of them would be a greater challenge to Trump. And I know many of you are like, oh, no, it's not. No, it would, because it would energize the Democrat base. So any of those scenarios would be more difficult for Trump, I think. Doesn't mean he couldn't make it. It just means it would be more difficult. But we have to be ready and ready for things changing. Now, aside from the politics stuff, we also have to be ready for countries like Russia and China and Iran and others, North Korea, to make a more aggressive move, because this absolutely has to energize them because of a couple of different reasons. Number one, the obvious is that the leader of the free world, the leader of the United States, is so old and senile and incompetent that he can't run a debate, let alone run a country, so we better make our move now. The other alternative argument is that, well, this just means that Donald Trump is going to be a shoo-in, and so whatever move we're going to make, we better do it before he becomes president. So it's very possible that we could see an escalation soon, and so we need to be aware of that, need to be watching for that, need to be preparing. Now, I want to shift gears again slightly, and I talked about this more in depth. If you want to hear the rest of the story, you can go watch the Locals video today that I put up, because that's where you'll find it. But I get accused often of, and it doesn't bother me. And some people are like, oh, why do you let it? It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I mention it to prove a point. I get accused often of fear-mongering, and I assure you that's not it at all. That's not the point. I mean, facts are facts, folks. We have to face the facts of what's going on. But we should not allow fear and paranoia to slip in and to control us, because then we lose control. If we're paranoid that something's happened, if we're worried that, we hear this rumor that this over here is going to happen or this going to happen, we go into this panic, then that's a problem. That's when we lose control and focus of what we're doing. We cannot allow that. We should work to be prepared all the time for anything. I've said that so many times. I don't prepare for one particular thing to happen. I'm not preparing for an EMP or for a grid down or for a nuclear attack or for a pandemic or whatever. I'm just being prepared so that no matter what happens, whether it's natural or man-made or whatever, I'm ready for it. And we should live our lives that way. We should go out and enjoy our lives. We should go out and be a light in this world so that we can continue that great commission of being fishers of men. But we should also always be prepared. It may be a snowstorm. It may be a hurricane. It may be a tornado. It could be an attack from the Chi-Coms. It could be the grid going down. It could be aliens landing in your backyard or something. We need to always be prepared. Our ancestors lived that life. They were prepared all the time. They weren't terrified of all the bad things that could happen to them. And there were a lot. They lived their lives and they, became prosperous as much as they could. They worked hard to build little homesteads out on the prairie and to build them up into ranches and to farms and businesses and stuff. And they had a lot of things to face, but they didn't hide around and cower in fear and panic. They weren't paranoid that around every corner someone was out to get them. And that's how we have to live. We have to encourage each other and not listen to all of the garbage and not fall into this fear and panic mode. We just need to be prepared. Yes, things are bad. The world is falling apart. We're in a collapse. We are absolutely in a collapse. We don't know where it's going to take us, but we know we're in a collapse. So the smart thing to do is just get ready. Keep moving forward, keep prepping up, keep building relationships with others, strengthening yourself, your skills, your mind, your soul, your body, everything. But also we need to live life, because when we give up on life, when we give up on spreading the light, Yeshua, Jesus' light in the world, when we give up on being good and kind to others, then we're doing exactly what the evil people want us to do. And we can't do that. We got to continue being good, spreading righteousness, spreading holiness, because we are the vessels for that. And we can't allow Satan's fear and panic to slip in. We can't allow it. Yes, things are bad, but we've got to keep moving forward. We've got to keep strengthening up and doing better every day. That's what we're doing here on this channel, and that's why I want to encourage you to always do that, to get your houses in order and to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.